What if you want to control or create your custom textures or paint your custom textures using a different program for your objects? For us to do that, we need to unwrap our model. Unwrapping is a process of unfolding your 3D mesh from 3D to 2D so that you can paint over and create your custom textures. Okay, we've discussed briefly UV unwrapping in a previous term. So for example, we have a box. Okay. Then you add a UVW map modifier, a UV unwrap the UVW. The green lines you see here are what we call seams. Okay. So when you open up our UV editor, okay, and then under mapping, flatten mapping, click OK, and it will unfold, okay, your mesh just like this. So now you can render this UV template and bring that to Photoshop and paint over your textures. Okay. Uh, Now the mapping, flattened mapping, is used for regularly shaped objects or simple objects just like a box or a cylinder. But what if you have something like this chair? Okay, so let's unwrap this. This has been unwrapped previously. So let's make a copy of this one by shift and dragging. Let's make a copy. Let's delete this one. Okay. So our copy here, let's delete our UVW map modifier. Now we have textures applied to this one. So we can remove the textures and the UVW unwrap. Okay. So to do that, let's convert this to an editable mesh. And then under the Utilities tab, we're going to use the UVW remove command. If it's not located here, you can go to More and select for the UVW map remove. Okay, so let's remove our UVW. Okay, and let's also remove the materials. And go back to the modifier, tab, convert to poly. Okay, so now there's no more mapping on this object. So let's add a UVW map unwrap. Let's use an unwrap modifier. Okay. Now here we have to add our custom seams. Okay. Right now there are no seams. If we use the flattened mapping, so let's try that first. This will happen. Okay. So it will automatically cut the pieces and unwrap. Okay. So you have too many pieces, and painting textures for this one will be difficult because of the different parts not connected to each other. Okay, so you would want to create your custom seams so that you can control the flattening of your 3D object. Okay, so let's delete this one. Let's add again a UVW unwrap. Okay, so now we're going to add our custom seams. And to do that, we're going to go here to our seams panel. Okay, let's go to edge because we're going to use the edge selection mode. Okay, so here, edit seams. Click that one. So whatever line I click or edge I click will become a seam. So this will become a seam. This will become a seam. This, this, this. So normally you would want to place your seams where they are hidden from your viewers. So this crease here, I can hide the seams here. That will be a seam. Okay. Another tool is you can use the point-to-point seam. So click this one. This will be a seam. Then I can just trace over, following the direction of the line. That's a seam now. Point to point. Okay. Then here, here, and there. Seam here, 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 and here. And maybe up to here. Okay. Or you can use to select, go to edge, double click on this one, and to select the whole, I want the whole, select this as my seam. Okay. Go to wireframe. Okay. Then use convert edge to seam. Okay. Let's double click this one again. Convert to seam. Go to wireframe. Okay. So we want also this part to become a seam. Double click this edge. Is that what we want? No. So we have to custom slice this one. So let's start from here. Let's use this one. Okay, convert to seam. Do it. Let's undo. Wrong seam. Let's go here. Let's see. There. There. Seam. This one. This. 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 And this. Convert to seam. And then convert to seam. Okay. They're connected. Are they connected? Zoom closer. Yes. Great. Then let's look, review. So now, oh yeah, here. Click this one. Create seam. And here. Create seam. Okay, so this is where the mesh will be sliced or cut. And it will unfold from there. So let's just check if everything is correct. Okay. Good. Oh, let's select this one, our feet. So this one, that will be a seam. This will be a seam. This will be a seam. Then change to a seam. The green will be, the green lines are seams already. So let's make a seam at here. Okay. Create seam. Create seam. Create seam. And create seam. Okay. So we have sliced our model. It says to unwrap this, open our UV editor. So instead of using mapping, flatten mapping, okay, we are going to use peel mode. Okay, so we're going to peel. Click peel. And now it has unwrapped our object. Okay, so here, all you have to do now is rearrange. So here under the open in our UV editor, these are the sub-object selection modes: vertex, edge, and polygon. Then you have element. So let's go to element Click this one, then rotate it. Let's arrange. Okay. So just arranging first everything. Rotate. Rotate. Where is this part located? This is these are parts of the legs. Okay. Then I can rotate this. Another way to rotate your these are what you call UV islands. You can go here. This is your rotate. Okay. But let's just rotate it just like this. Let's straighten out all our islands. Okay. All right. Now, these are all texture islands. If you want to see the effect of that one, you can go to this panel here. Check. You can have a checker pattern turned on. So if you go to your shaded mode, you can now see the texture pattern in your model. So this is how you check the 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 arrangement of your textures. Okay. Well, we want to maximize the UVW space because we are wasting a lot of space. So we can select everything here, and then we can also pack custom. Okay. When you click this one, this will arrange the elements or your UV islands and map to maximize the UV space. Okay, so let's click pack custom. There you go. Now you can adjust the padding. The padding is the spacing between your UV islands. Okay, so here let's say smaller padding will maximize even more the spacing in your UV islands. So let's try 0.002. Let's select everything and then pack custom. Okay, or you can click the pack normalize. Let's try this one. Okay, or pack together. So what you're doing here is looking for the best arrangement where it maximizes your UV spacing or your UV space. Okay, you can even bring closer together parts that are similar. Okay, arrange them together so they're easier to paint in Photoshop. Okay, or easier to paint in another 3D painting software like Substance Painter. Okay, okay, so here we have unwrapped. Let's just fix this one. Okay, another way to maximize the mapping or the packing of your textures or your UV islands is select everything, then go to tools, then pack UVs. Then you have different algorithms to pack them. Let's say non-convex, click OK. similar to this one. Let's say recursive packing. So you're wasting a lot of space. Okay. Now, this is good if you want to use, if you're packing different objects using one UV space, you can do that. Okay. Then let's go pack UVs again. Let's try non-linear packing. Okay. So the best one is non-convex, and then click OK. Right? So this is good. Render the UV template. To do that, right click, render UV template. Set the size to 2048 by 2048. Then hit render UV template. Okay. Then we can save this. UV share. Save. Yes. Okay. Then all you have to do now is load that in Photoshop. File, open, UV chair. Okay. And now we can paint our textures here. Okay. So let's say let's create a sample base color map. Let's say we want the chair to be orange. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trace my UV island using the pen tool. Okay. Then save this as a JPEG. Let's say save as JPEG. This will be by fabric base color. So you need to create your base color, roughness, metalness, and normal map. Click OK. Then let's say let's add a text. Multi-share. Okay. Save as. Save on your computer. JPEG. Base color. Save. Yes. Click OK. Then let's load that. Okay. So let's go open our material editor. So let's just change materials, Arnold, materials, general, maps, OSL, bitmap lookup, base color, open. Let's attach that to our base color. Let's look at our chair. Okay, of course we need to attach this one. We need to attach this one to our chair. So let's attach it. There you go. Okay, so you can create your custom textures in Photoshop. Now, let's say you were still going to use this. Okay, as you can see, the mapping here, okay, is no longer controlled by UVW map. The mapping now is being controlled by how big your objects are in the UV space. Okay, so for example, that this element here, which represents this one, okay, let's select this one. Look what happens if we scale this down. Okay, the textures become bigger. If you bring this up, textures become smaller. Okay, so here it's not, you have to control now the tiling of your maps in your textures. Okay, you have to control now the tiling, not the scale, in the real world scale. So to do that, you can still use your UV unwrap or your UV OSL UV transform. Okay, and then we can adjust the tiling here. Let's say around 2. Let's say 4. Okay. Uh, Make it bigger, smaller. Let's say 10. Okay. Let's say 50. There you go. Or if you don't want to use the tiling, bring that to 1. You can use the scale. Let's say 0.1, 0.025, 0.005. Okay. That looks good. Right? Now that we have unwrapped this one, let's add the poly select. Okay, let's convert this to a poly. We've already unwrapped it. Convert this to poly. Okay. Then we can add a poly select. Or just we can just select this one and then add our wood material. Okay. Then we can adjust the scaling in our wood material. Let's say 0.005. Okay. So there. Okay. So we have now unwrapped this model. Okay. So yes, it's easier to use the UVW map modifier. Okay. But if we want to optimize this model, we are going you will need to unwrap the model just like that. Okay. So in our next lesson, we will optimize this model and still have the detail of a high poly model. Okay, moving on to the next lecture.